right, Kyoko, are you ready? Ren asked, now hosting Kyoko in his office. Yes, sir. Kyoko nodded before closing her eyes.
Stay inside.
Hopefully, this will go better than yesterday. Interesting, Kyoko said as she entered the velvet room and immediately started looking around. This is a very cozy place. Maybe we could have something like it at the house? Oh, planning on ripping me off, huh? Run asked teasingly. Well, I don't think we have to worry about her putting us out of business. Our cafe serves a unique purpose after all, Lavenza said in an amused tone before taking out a glass of milk. Here you are, to soothe your soul. Kyoko sniffed the glass before a smile spread across her face. Oh, almond milk, my favorite. She quickly started drinking the milk, gulping down with gusto until the glass was empty. Thank you very much, Kyoko said, giving her a pilot bow. You are more than welcome, Lavenza said. All right, let's do some stretches and enter the palace, Ron said. Yes, sir. Kyoko nodded. After heading through the door, they found themselves transported to the inside of an amusement park. Around them were all sorts of rides, food stalls, games, and more, as well as shadows, taking the form of families with no faces, walking all around them, enjoying themselves. In front of them was a stairway, leading to an underground entrance. On the door to that entrance, it said Omoid Jail. Kyoko hissed as she saw the name on the sign. Omoid. Omoid, Run repeated as he tried to place where he heard that name before. Eventually, it came to him. Wasn't that your old last name before you were adopted by Midoriya? Yes, Kyoko growled, saying it as if admitting that caused her pain. And I hope to never see or hear that name again. Are you going to be okay? Rin asked her, taking a good look at her to see if she was ready for this. I'll be fine, sir, Kyoko said, her tone livid and her eyes focused on the door. Let's just do this already. With that, Kyoko walked down the steps towards the door, with Rin following behind her. She kicked the door open, revealing a dingy hallway, lit by flickering light bulbs. The two walked down the hallway, looking out for threats along the way. All the while, they could hear the sounds of the people above them enjoying themselves. Their laughter echoed throughout the hall, causing Kyoko to grow more and more tense, clenching her teeth harder as they went. Breathe.
Ren reminded her.
Kyoko started deep breathing, aggressively, sounding like a bull before they were about to charge. They arrived at the end of the hallway, into an entry and reception hall, with a shadow behind the desk. That shadow was that of a very generic-looking child, with an extremely smug expression, wearing a prison guard uniform. Upon seeing them, the guard smashed a button and alarms went off. Suddenly from the doors, more kid guards came in, bit batons. Oh, what are you doing out? Get back in your cell, shouted one of the guards. Mistakes like you have to be locked up, said another guard. Kyoko, get ready, Rin told her to pull out his weapons. Focus your dash. Loki, Kyoko said as she stared at the shadows with hate-filled eyes. Red fire exploded from her body, before moving behind her and taking form as her persona. What formed behind her was humanoid, but very clearly inhuman. Their entire body is covered in black and white stripes like a zebra, including the two horns atop its head. The only parts not covered in those stripes were its black and red hair. Lastly, it was holding a large red greatsword that almost looked like it could be made of blood. Kyoko opened her hand, and a spiked club appeared in her palms. Oh, Run said, shocked by this sudden development. Yaha! Kyoko let out a battle cry before leaping at the shadows. Kyoko slammed her club down on one of the shadows, splattering it across the ground. Loki appeared in front of her, and slashed his sword through 3 more shadows, cutting them in half. Kaiwa awawia. Loki let out a scream, and red mist flew out of his mouth, covering the rest of the shadows. Ah! Suddenly, all the shadows screamed as their eyes turned red, and they quickly started flailing around, beating each other with their weapons, tearing each other apart. And as they went mad and killed each other, Kyoku just kept destroying them with her club, a sadistic, gleeful grin spreading across her face. Ha 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 ha. Ah ha ha ha. D. Run could only watch as Kyoku and her persona tore through the shadows like tissue paper. It looks like her persona can make shadows go berserk, corrupting them in a way. That's pretty useful, but I wonder what effect that's going to have on her. This is her mind after all. After Kyoku made quick work of the shadows, the way was clear. Kyoku took a deep breath, taking in the afterglow of the battle. I wish I could do this in real life. You wish you could tear people apart with a club and drive them insane? Ren asked, wondering if maybe they should leave. Kyoka's eyes widened as she realized what she just implied. That's not what I meant. I just wish I could fight like my siblings in real life. Right. Well, it looks like you awakened your persona pretty easily. Still, be careful with that ability it has. We're inside your mind, so who knows what'll happen if you keep using that.
Rent warned.
Kyoku pouted briefly, before sighing. Yes, sir. Going deeper into the prison, the two found themselves in a large cell block, filled with empty cells. And standing there waiting for them was another guard. This one a teenager, with bright pink hair, holding a whip. My, did the mistake come to get tortured all on her own? The shadow cackled. I hope you don't think that'll make me go easy on you, little sis. I'm guessing this is your older sister, Ren said, recalling Kyoka's file. Woroku. Kyoka hissed, the grip on her club tightening. I'm going to tear you apart. Ah! Kyoku launched herself at the shadow, the club held high. Wait! Ren called out. The shadow swiped her whip forward with alarming speed, slamming it into Kyoku, who went flying into a wall as a result. Grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr and only focusing on her opponent. Loki appeared in front of her and slammed and slashed his sword down towards her, sending a red energy slash towards her that tore up the ground as it traveled. Woroku jumped to the left to avoid the attack, only for Ren's grappling hook to wrap around her neck before slamming her into a wall. "Ack, don't fuck with me," Woroku shouted as she ripped the wire off her neck before sending her whip out towards Ren. Ren ducked under the whip and pulled out his pistol, shooting Woroku in the face. The bullets seemed to only annoy Woroku, focusing her attention on Ren. She unleashed a flurry of whip strikes at him. Ren dodged most of them, but one swipe smacked him in the face and made him face-plant into the metal bars of a cell. Woroku got ready to attack him again when Kyoku came down from above and slammed her club down on her head. Then Loki appeared in front of her and slashed at her, creating a massive wound across her stomach and chest. "Ack, you little shit," Woroku hissed as she spun her whip around, hitting Loki and Kyoku, sending them away from her. Woroku turned to Kyoku, who had fallen on her behind as a result of the attack, and got ready to initiate another attack when she was suddenly hit in the back by dark energy from Arsene, making her stumble forward and drop her whip. Ren sent out his grappling hook, wrapping it around her leg and tripping her. Now, Arsene shot out a big blast of dark energy, and on the other side, Loki sent out a big blade beam. Both attacks slammed into Woroku at the same, exploding upon Collison, leaving a cloud of smoke and dust. When the smoke died down, Woroku could be seen missing a good amount of her body, with what remained of her fading away. "Damn it!" can't believe I lost to you. Woroko groaned as she slowly vanished. Then she smirked. Still, don't think you're off scot-free, you brat. Even when I'm gone, I'll still be here. With you. That fake family can't do a thing. Not when you know you belong here. Ahahaha. Ahahahaha. And with that, she faded into nothing. Kyoku walked up to the spot where Woroko had been and spat on it. Good riddance. You good? Ren asked her, dusting himself off. Kyoku nodded, but as soon as she tried to move, she winced a bit.
Vane sighed.
All right, we're done for today. Wait, no, Kyoku said, before coughing, taking a moment to recompose her. I mean, sir, I can keep going. I'm fiending. If you get any more banged up, then this your father will kill me. We're leaving. Ren said sternly, as he turned the other way. Come on. Kyoku pouted, but obediently followed anyway. Whoa, that's a lot of purple, Ken said as he arrived in the Velvet Room. Welcome to the Velvet Room, Lavenza said, quickly pulling out a drink. Cola. Heck yeah, Ken said as he quickly gulped down the soda, and once he was done he let out a loud burp. Nice. Ruji. He reminds me of Ruji, Lavenza said after thinking about it for a moment. Nah, Ken only ACTS dumb. He's actually quite bright when he wants to be, Ron said. Not sure if that was an insult or not, Ken said, giving Rin a suspension-filled glare. And who's Ruji? A man with a heart of gold, a mouth like a loudspeaker, and about 2 brain cells, Ron said fondly. Anyway, let's get ready for the palace, shall we? Whoa, Ken said again as they arrived at the palace. They'd ended up at the entrance to another prison. In front of them was a path lined with 2 large black walls with barred-up windows on them. The floor was bright green, with cricket patterns on them. Surrounding the whole prison complex were massive black walls, and above them was what looked like glass, with a familiar hourglass symbol in the sky, which was bright green. Are we inside the Omnitrix? Ken asked, taking a good look around. Seems like it. Maybe your cognition thinks that a part of you is trapped inside the Omnitrix, Ron said. And I think we both know what part that is. Ken scowled, looking down at the Omnitrix on his wrist. Yeah, let's go meet him. With that, the 2 walked forward into the prison. The 2 eventually made their way to an open area with the Omnitrix symbol on the ground. In front of them was a massive black gate, also with the Omnitrix symbol on it. And in front of that gate was Igai. Igai? Ken questioned as they approached. It's a shadow, taking the form of one of your transformations, Ren explained. And if I had to guess, he's the one guarding this gate. Turn back now, Ken, Igai told them, all his eyes focusing on Ken. It's for your own good. Ken hesitated for a moment before shaking his head and giving Igai a determined look. Let us pass. I need to whop my own ass. If that's what you want, then I will be your opponent, Igai said, taking a battle-ready position. Don't say I didn't warn you. Brrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr hide and dodge in time. It's hero time, Ken said, pressing the button on his Omnitrix, causing the dial to pop up. But everything was blank. All of his transformations were gone. Huh? Ken cried out in confusion. BRRRR. Ag. Igai hit Ken with a laser that froze everything but his head. Don't expect any of us to help you here. This is all for your own good. Igai shouted. For his own good? Locking parts of yourself away never helps anyone. Run argued, dodging another laser before firing at Ai with his gun. The bullet slammed into Ai's arm, causing him to flinch for a second, before responding by growing more eyes on his chest and shooting more lasers at Run. Run started running, flipping, and dodging the attacks shot out at him. The more you repress something, the stronger it becomes. You can't fix a problem by ignoring it. I think you should shut up, Ai shouted as he continued attacking. You really think that ugly thing should ever be released? So it can wreak havoc and ruin everything it touches? It doesn't have to ruin everything. Ren argued as he kept dodging. You don't always have to live with that fear, that hatred for a part of yourself. Things can be better. By mastering yourself, conquering your fears, you can live a better life. But that can only happen when you face your flaws head-on. Arsene appeared behind Rin and shot out dark energy at Ai. The energy slammed into his chest and sent him skidding back. Hiding from your problems doesn't make them go away. Run looked over at Ken. Ken, do you want to get better? To finally put your past behind you? Yes. Ken shouted as she started trying to break free of the ice. Crack. You're right. I need to face this, Ken said as the ice started to crack. Which means I need to stop being such a coward. Proteus. Suddenly, Ken burst into green flames as the ice shattered. The flames took from behind him into Ken's new persona. Its top half was that of a man, bare muscular chest, with long green hair that connected to his green beard. But its lower half was a big mix of creatures. Horse legs, with a serpent tail which became a lion tail at the end. Whoa, it's kinda weird looking, Ken said, taking a good look at his persona. Ai shot out another laser at Ken, but Proteus went in front of him before turning into a wall, blocking the beams. Cool, Ken said in awe, before getting a wicked smirk on his face. Let's kick some butt. Proteus then turned into a huge dragon and unleashed a wave of fire onto Ai. That's hot, Ai shouted as he was swallowed by the flames, his body burning up. He combined all the eyes together into one big eye and shot out a huge laser at Proteus that pierced through the fire. I don't think so, Ken shouted as Proteus stopped its attack and turned into a mirror, reflecting the laser, causing it to slam into Ai, sending him flying into a wall. Let's finish him.
Ren shouted.
Arsene appeared and shot a massive black energy mass at Ai. Let's do it, Proteus, Ken shouted as Proteus turned into a cannon and fired a cannonball at Ai. Kaboom! Both attacks landed, exploding on impact and shaking the entire area. When the explosion died down, Ai remained, heavily injured and with swirls in all of his eyes. Ugh, hi! He groaned as he fell to his knees. Had enough, Ken shouted out, giving his transformation a stern look. I'm getting through, no matter what. For me, and for my sister. She shouldn't have to worry about this either. So for both our sakes, get out of my way. I see, Ai said, and then his body slowly started fading away. So be it. I hope you know what you're doing. Ken smirked. Who do you think you're talking to? Of course, I don't, but I'll figure it out. Probably. All of Ai's eyes rolled, and then he was gone. Swoom. Suddenly, the Omnitrix symbol on the door lit up. I think that means we can progress, Ren said. The gate should open, now that we've defeated the gatekeeper.
BUMP 3 UMP.
Huh. Ken looked down at his Omnitrix and found that Ai's silhouette had returned. Whoa. I got Ai back. Guess we convinced him to help us get through. All right, let's call it a day, Ren said. What? Why? I can keep going, Ken argued. Sorry to say, but I'm one who's a bit tired, Ren said, rubbing his eyes. I've been going in and out of palaces for the past 2 days, and it's starting to get to me.
Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. Ken sighed in disappointment. Guess that makes sense. Don't want you ending up like Izuku. Thanks. Rin nodded as the two of them turned back and walked towards the exit. By the way, what's a Proteus? Ken asked. Greek god of shapeshifting, Rin explained. There was a god for that? Ken asked, curiously. There was a Greek god of poop. They had a god for everything.
Ain't chocolate.
Heh, poop. Ken laughed.